A major military crisis is now unfolding in the Middle East as tensions between the United States and Iran have sharply escalated following a series of coordinated military strikes. Reports confirm that U.S. forces, working alongside Israeli forces, have carried out attacks on multiple targets inside Iran earlier today. Explosions were reported in several Iranian cities, including the capital Tehran, as military facilities and strategic locations were targeted in what officials describe as a large-scale operation. Iran has responded quickly, launching counterattacks against targets linked to the United States across the region. Several countries that host American military bases have reported missile alerts and security emergencies. Airspace closures have been announced in multiple countries as airlines cancel flights across the region, showing how serious this crisis has become. While officials have not formally declared war, military actions on both sides have raised fears that the situation could turn into a direct and prolonged conflict. This crisis comes after months of rising tension over Iran's nuclear program and growing military deployments by the United States in the region. Tonight, the world is watching closely as military activity continues across the Middle East. We begin with the latest developments. We are receiving continuous updates as the military situation evolves rapidly. Early this morning, coordinated air and missile strikes were launched against several Iranian targets. Military sources indicate that strategic facilities, command centers, and military infrastructure were among the targets. According to early reports, intelligence and security facilities connected to Iran's military leadership were hit during the initial wave of attacks. These operations appear to have involved advanced aircraft and long-range precision weapons. Military analysts believe that the strikes were designed to damage Iran's ability to conduct missile operations and coordinate regional forces. Shortly after the attacks began, Iran launched retaliatory strikes. Missiles were fired toward areas hosting United States military forces across the Gulf region. Explosions were reported near military installations in several countries. Defense systems in the region were activated as radar systems detected incoming projectiles. Air defense units attempted to intercept incoming missiles as emergency sirens sounded across multiple areas. Several locations housing American forces were placed on the highest level of alert. Military officials say the situation remains extremely active, with additional strikes possible at any time. Reports also indicate that drone activity has increased across the region, suggesting both sides are monitoring battlefield movements closely. Military aircraft have been seen operating across large areas of airspace as surveillance missions continue. Strategic command centers remain active as both sides assess damage and prepare next steps. Officials emphasize that information is still coming in and the situation remains fluid. The battlefield situation is developing across land, sea, and air. Air operations appear to be the main focus of military activity. Fighter jets have reportedly conducted precision strikes while surveillance aircraft monitor movement across the region. Military drones are playing a major role in reconnaissance missions. These unmanned aircraft are used to identify targets and track military positions. Missile systems on both sides remain on alert. Defense systems are operating continuously to detect and intercept incoming threats. Naval forces are also involved. United States naval units have been deployed across the region as part of a major military buildup that began earlier this year. Warships are positioned to provide missile defense and air support. Aircraft carriers and escort ships are believed to be operating in nearby waters. These ships allow fighter jets to launch operations without relying on land bases. Military analysts say naval forces could become more important if the conflict continues. Ground forces remain on high alert. Military bases across the region have increased security and defensive readiness. Troops are preparing for possible attacks. Defense systems around major bases are operating around the clock. Radar systems are tracking aircraft and missile launches. Command centers are coordinating defensive and offensive operations. Communications between allied forces are continuing. Military planners are preparing for possible escalation scenarios. Despite the heavy military activity, large-scale ground combat has not yet been reported. However, experts warn that the situation could change quickly. Iran has responded strongly to the attacks. Iranian officials have condemned the strikes and warned of further retaliation. Missile launches were reported within hours of the initial attacks. Several missiles were aimed at areas connected to United States military operations across the region. Iranian military forces have increased their readiness levels. Air defense units have been activated across the country. Military commanders have warned that Iran is prepared to continue responding if attacks continue. Iran has also increased drone operations. Surveillance flights are monitoring regional movements. Iranian officials have stated that they consider the strikes a violation of national sovereignty. Military leaders have warned that additional responses remain possible. Security forces have been deployed around key facilities. Missile units have reportedly been placed on alert. Iran's military strategy appears focused on deterrence and retaliation. Officials say Iran will defend its territory if further attacks occur. The situation remains tense as Iranian forces continue to monitor developments. The United States military has significantly increased its operations in the region. The recent strikes appear to be part of a broader strategy to reduce perceived threats and maintain regional security. Military deployments have expanded in recent weeks. Air and naval forces have been positioned to respond quickly to any escalation. Advanced aircraft and missile systems have been deployed to support operations. Defense systems are protecting military bases and strategic locations. American commanders say the goal is to prevent further attacks and protect U.S. personnel. Military aircraft continue to conduct surveillance missions. Command centers are coordinating operations with allied forces. Defense officials say military readiness remains high. Additional forces could be deployed if needed. The United States has emphasized that it is monitoring the situation closely. Officials say they are prepared to respond to further threats. The international community is reacting with concern. World leaders are calling for calm and restraint. Diplomatic efforts are underway to prevent further escalation. Many governments are urging both sides to avoid further military action. The United Nations is monitoring the situation closely. Emergency meetings may be held to discuss the crisis. Several countries have issued travel warnings. Air travel across the region has been disrupted due to safety concerns. Financial markets are. Breaking news scene, Middle East city skyline at night, large explosions, thick smoke rising, military vehicles moving, emergency lights flashing, dramatic orange and red lighting, cinematic perspective, realistic, urgent news style, 4K detail.